Somewhere between the stillness of the hills and the hush of pine trees sits Tra, a boutique stay in Manali, shaped gently by thought and intention. In this episode of Unheard India, I sit down with Kanupriya, the mind and heart behind Tra. What began as a personal journey slowly grew into a space that holds both comfort and care. We spoke about the changing face of Manali, about tourism, and how it leaves behind more than just memories, about the quiet responsibility that comes with creating a space in the mountains, and how sustainability often begins in small, conscious decisions. But this conversation wasn't just about practices or places, it was about the pauses, about choosing to listen to the land, to ourselves, and to subtle shifts that ask us to live a little lighter.
Yeah, I'm an architect actually, but I shifted to tourism.
What sparked your interest in tourism and sustainability?
Actually, I love architecture, but then I left it because the time I was practicing, it was not aligning with the sustainable way of living that I wanted to do. And it was always about like building new from scratch. People were not adaptive, reusing buildings. Like there's just so many buildings that you can reuse. And
This was in Rajasthan?
yeah, I was practicing in Rajasthan, and that time I was also running an art studio for kids who were interested, because I come from Kota, right? And Kota is
Like the
the hub of IIT and everything. And when I used to just walk on the street, I used to feel so bad for the kids. Like their faces were all down.
But did it work? Because Kota, I think, is
It did.
contrary.
It did. It actually worked. And then I shifted to Sikkim.
Okay.
And there I joined an office and I was working there as a senior architect. I did a high altitude trek in 2014, and then when I was at 5,000 meters and I'm seeing Kanchenjunga and the morning rays falling on it, this was morning 5:30, and I was like, I want to get people here. It was a beautiful experience to walk for 7 days and reach there. I think that's when I realized that I want to get into tourism. Like in Sikkim, then I started trip leading for that trek called Goichla, and then I don't know how many times I walked it.
So you've been in Manali now for 3 years. How did that shift happen?
So it was 8 years in Sikkim, and I wanted to start a stay. And then I chose Manali because it's the gateway of Trans Himalayas.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the reason I'm here.
Your tourism company, does it have like an office or it's just online?
Yeah, this is the office.
This is the office. The phone is the office. What phone do you have?
I have a OnePlus 30. I just bought it. Like
I think when you were talking on the phone, you were like, "Yeah, I invested in a good phone. You can't hear the background noise." Like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's because I bought a phone after 7 years.
Wow.
And I still got it in exchange. So I'm sure that phone is not being destroyed. It's going to be the technology and the parts are going to be used for something else.
I mean, corporates like Apple especially, they've like really aced that game. Like every year they make you feel like, you're lagging behind in technology, even though the technology is still the same.
So, yeah.
Like 15E, 16.
Yeah,
16,
yeah. With
17.
phones, I just don't get it. Like a lot of people told me, oh, you should have this phone and you should have that phone. I said, I'll buy it when I need it. And I know I will use this phone forever now. Like,
But okay, when you first reached out to me, you told me like you had this message that sustainability is not just about organic materials and food. So what do you feel are like some overlooked aspects of sustainable tourism?
So if you just see the word itself, sustainability, it's the ability to sustain. Like people think it's a trend because now everything, all brands have this sustainable this and sustainable that. And I don't know how that's called greenwashing. And people think by just using those products, they are practicing sustainability. For me, sustainability is that it's there in everything. Like it's not just in living as a one person. It's in business models. It's in relationships. It's in everything around us. Like if you look back in history, it's like how did travel even start? It started for trade. Right? After that, it became religion. Now, what is tourism now is more like rejuvenation and rewinding.
Leisure,
it's for leisure. And now, what category do we put leisure in? Like, is it luxury or is it a necessity? Like now we get guests who are just here. They book the stay they hire a car, a 4x4, etc., etc., and they're just here to make content. And I feel a lot of travel has come to that. Like, we also see a lot of people traveling, like, they spend 4 or 5 days here without doing anything, and I feel that they're really, really traveling. But a lot of, because of the social media and the amount of content floating around on social media, I feel travel has just converted into a way to validate yourself. We all need validation, there's nothing wrong in it. But then again, what's the limit? And I feel that's where, if you want travel, like if you want this industry to keep on moving on, it has to be done sustainably. And now, how do you do it? Like, a lot of people come to us also and say that, we want an experiential tour. And then when we design an experiential tour, which is like community based, and we do a lot of these activities and stuff like that, and then they go like, nahi, cafe kahan pe hai? So I feel like our work actually starts from just leaving these small cues of how travel could be different. I feel that's how we practice it, that we leave cues in people's itineraries, and even when they are here, like, a lot of our stuff is actually sustainable. We don't buy anything online, we don't buy packaged food, everything is made from scratch here. So we do practice all of that, and we see how people leave differently after 3-4 days of their stay. Then I feel second is that you give them alternative ways to travel. Like, maybe spend a day not touring, but actually just walking. So we do these things with them that just brings them closer to nature. And even if, like, from 10 people, 2 people catch it, I'm good.
I think as my next question, you've already answered it. My next question was, how can travelers make more conscious choices when traveling? I think that.
But actually, I think a lot of people, especially after COVID, travel has changed. Indians are so used to having people around them. Like, say Bombay, we are constantly rubbing our shoulders with people, the smells and the aromas and noises and everything. It's like, Indians are so highly stimulated. And then, but after COVID, I think it brought some sort of
stillness,
So a lot of people kind of flipped, but a lot of people used it. And that happened in travel. Like, people started booking stays for 10 days, 15 days. And you're seeing that happening now.
Yeah, the concept of slow traveling is still formulating in the east part of the world. But especially if I see Westerners, they're traveling, they really like to travel slow. They'll be in a place for months.
Yes.
And then they'll move to another place, they'll be there for months.
True.
Indians are always like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to travel to that place. So like, be in a place for a day, then go to another place for a day. I think, like you're saying, I think it's changing.
It is, I see it. I think so people need to travel slower, of course. And the thing that they could do is actually to, like, stay in homestays. Like, because the idea of tourism is also that you conserve our culture. I have nothing against hotels as such, but I just feel that homestays and places like these are slightly more immersive, because there is someone to host you, to exchange data for that matter. And if you realize that Indian households are already running in a sustainable way. Like, if somebody asked me that, how were you introduced to sustainability? And I was like, since I was a kid, like, Indian women know how to run a house sustainably. Like, I don't remember buying things when we were small. Everything was made, like, everything had a solution, everything had an alternative. And, like, simple things like even plastic bags. Our parents used to hold plastic bags as, like, treasure. And they used to use it again. What our body can't digest, Earth can't even. Like, our Earth is a representation of ourselves. So if we can't eat plastic and digest it, so can't Earth. So just, like, put that parallel in your mind every time you're doing something.
I've got this paranoia of earthquakes of lately. I don't know. I experienced an earthquake, like, last year in Shimla. It was so scary. Like, I live in an old building, sort of a depleted building. It really shaking. Then I researched a bit about earthquakes, and there has been, like, so much tension in the Himalayas and a lot of crowd and stuff like that. There's a warning of, like, a very massive earthquake in the Himalayas. I'm always thinking about it. I'm like, when is it going to come?
So I was in Sikkim when the Nepal earthquake happened.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, Nepal and Sikkim are just just a border away, right? So when that earthquake happened, we were in our office, which is on the 6th floor, and the building moved, like
Yeah, I mean,
moved,
it's a
and I
scary
could
sensation.
feel, yeah, the columns and the beams
Yeah,
moving under me, like
yeah.
this is going to fall down. And then my dad called, and he went like, "So this is it, right? Like
Yeah.
you are ready for this?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I guess, like
I mean, yeah.
I can't say, I can't."
And that's one thing you really feel in that moment. I mean, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah. The funny thing was like, I got this and the building was really moving and I just ran to my parents' room and I saw my aunt who was like sitting there and like praying to God. It was like- I'm like, इससे क्या होगा?
yeah, exactly.
यहाँ से निकलो. इससे कुछ नहीं. Because I think people, yeah, like you were saying, this is it.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
people
it.
is-
So my dad said that you're prepared for this, right? I was like, I guess, Papa, I don't know. Like, I will never know.
That's it. It was really nice having a conversation with you.
Thank you, same here. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah. Yeah.